What are the most common mistakes growing businesses make when planning for legal matters, and what proactive steps can we take to avoid them? So, I think one of the biggest mistakes that businesses make is waiting until the legal issues are flagged and then addressing it based off of what time is available at that moment, what money feels available at that moment, and what level of urgency feels available at that moment. That I think is the biggest mistake because it is entirely reactive. The issue itself is reactive. It ends up being something that someone else brought to you. How much you're going to dedicate it in terms of the the bandwidth of the people within your business, using people external to your business, and financially, all gets determined based off of circumstances that were not decided by you. It's entirely reactive. And I think that's the biggest mistake because for a number of reasons. So, first, what it does is it teaches you that other people get to decide what happens with the legal issues in your business. They get to tell you what the legal issues are, and they are running the show in terms of how much you're able to commit to dealing with those legal issues because they're deciding the timing, and the planning around it is happening only when it's brought up. So being reactive, I think, is a number one mistake that businesses make when it comes to um, planning for legal matters, ultimately because it means you're not doing any planning in advance. So, how can you change that? Well, you have to have an understanding for the regulations that impact your business. That's number one. You have to have an understanding of, if I am participating in these activities or this industry, how does it impact what I want to do and what I plan to do? And that means really taking a look at, what are you planning to do? What are you currently doing? What have you done? What do you plan to do in the future? What activities will be a part of your day to day in the business? From those activities and from information around your industry and what you've done in the past, and based off of information around where you want to go in the future, that determines the legal needs for your business. And when you have an understanding of, well, here are my expected legal needs. I may have some corrective action to take because of what I did in the past or what I didn't do in the past, right? I may have some things that I need to start on right away now because we are already currently engaged in the activity and we need to be current. Or I may actually need to start on them now so that they show up for the things I plan to do in the future in 6 months or in 3 months. And then you'll have an idea of what sort of legal work might be expected further down the line. And maybe now it's just a matter of laying some groundwork, some foundation. So that number one issue is when people don't plan, when they just wait for the issues to come to them. You want to have a robust plan for the legal work in your business that can see you through for 1 year. It's okay if the plan changes, things do come up, but you want to have a plan in place, a very clear plan and well-developed plan where you use external resources to develop it. So that's the number one issue. The second issue is that people don't budget for the legal work. And I could see budgeting as even broader than what people normally think. People think that budgeting is all about financial resources, but you also want to think about your other resources that you have available, the people in your business, and the time that you have to invest. So sometimes people will say, well, I don't have the financial resources to do X or Y when it comes to the legal work in our business. But the reality is, you probably have time. Maybe you do, maybe you don't, but you will have to invest something, right? If it's not money, it will have to be something else. And usually that is time. It may mean educating yourself and signing up for courses or for programs that may require a much smaller financial input than hiring an attorney, but it requires a lot more of your time and your participation and your energy and your honesty, right? For you to get the full value of that course and be able to use it as a substitute for paying for legal counsel in certain circumstances. So, or it may be a combination of courses and resources that you may have to take. So those are the two areas that I see people making the biggest mistake when it comes to planning for the legal matters in their business. Number one, they don't plan things out. Number two, they don't plan them out in connection with their goals that they have for their business and what they've done in the past to take corrective action around those past activities. And then the third is not really planning to expend resources to, they're not budgeting for it money wise or people wise or time wise. And so just addressing those items will create a transformative difference for a business. And I've seen people do it in many different ways. But the first is you've got to get clear on where you want to go and map out your activities and be aware of what impacts your business industry and the activities that you have engaged in and plan to engage in.